Hey, this is Eric13 and you're watching Mediator. Woo! I hope everybody checks out my new song. It's going to be on all digital platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, I don't know, maybe vk.com, who knows?
And when she cries, like, oh, 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 she wears black lipstick. Oh, oh.
Can you tell, like, was it like something that was born out of this lockdown thing, or like how
No,
did it come about?
it was actually before that. I actually wrote it before the lockdown. And, but the lockdown got me to put it out. I had been planning, you know, some big thing and, you know, get the video ready and launch it and big promotional campaign. And then I was in the lockdown. I said, you know what, I just got to put this song out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, I mean, I'm doing a little bit of promo, but not, you know, some huge record label thing at this, just doing everything myself just to put it out. Just to put it out.
And you have like, have you recorded, like, do you have like a home studio, or like, is it something?
Yeah, I'm in the studio right now. So this is my studio. This is my workspace. This is where I'm here every day. So this is the basement of my house upstairs, you know, where I live. So every day after I wake up, I go exercise, and then I come down here and play guitar, and I do my interview show from here. Everything happens here. I got electric guitars, acoustic guitars, drums, lights, you know, everything in here.
I know that in this song, you had this Omi Kapila involved.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about his involvement as well?
Well, Umi was, I met Umi. He was the guitar player of the band Filter.
Yeah.
And Combichrist and Filter toured together a couple of years ago, both in the US and around Europe. And we just met and became friends. We're instantly great friends. And in fact, so much, we became such good friends that instead of riding on his tour bus, he started riding on the Combichrist tour bus with us.
Oh.
And we basically just kidnapped him from Filter. We just took him and met, and we just said, you're now part of Combichrist. And he actually ended up doing a whole tour with Combichrist on the next album. He produced the album, This Is Where Death Begins, with Andy.
Ah, okay.
So during this time, he and I developed a friendship, and I was out in Los Angeles, and he's a record producer. He was working on another project, and he had asked me to come in and sing some stuff for a movie that he was working on. We did that, and we had some extra studio time, and I said, hey, I got this song that I want to show you. It's called Black Lipstick. And I just played an acoustic guitar, and I sang the basic song, and he was like, wow, I love it. And the session went away, and a couple days later he called me, and he had taken my acoustic demo and turned it into very close to what you hear in the real song. And I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And so we worked together. I mean, he's one of my closest friends. So it was just a fun project, but he really took my song to another level, and it really became about both of us. So it was really cool. It was rewarding, fun to make a cool song, and two, it's always fun to make music with your friends.
Yeah, cool. And is it like inspired by something particular, or is it like, because like when I hear it, it kind of it's a very nice mixture of kind of references to the past times, but at the same time it sounds very modern, I think. So
well, I hope so. I hope it sounds a little bit modern.
Yeah, but I like this kind
of,
it's
musically, no. I just you know, I love writing music. I love writing songs, and singing in particular. I think a lot of people know me from Combichrist really only as a guitar player, when really singing is I actually love singing more than playing guitar. And it's just a song that I wrote. It is loosely, there's a story, there's a person that kind of inspired the song, with wearing black lipstick and had a diamond tattooed on her finger. But then the song became, you know, as all songs do, they can begin in reality, but then they take a life of their own. So they don't necessarily have to be 100% true or about a person. They just need to be a cool song, you know? So this is one of those. Stylistically, it just happened. There was no plan whatsoever. It was just Umi and I messing around, trying sounds and having fun, and it just came out how it was.
And is it going to be like a beginning of something? Like, are you planning something more, or you just kind of stay with one-off thing for now?
Well, there's kind of two answers to that question. One, I'm hoping this is the first of a bunch of Eric13 releases. I've written so many songs in the last, well, really one during lockdown. I've written a whole new album of songs just in the last couple months.
Oh, wow.
I'm feeling, because I'm not going anywhere, you know, I'm in America and you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm home all the time. I'm in the studio. I'm in my studio now, as we mentioned. I'm here every day just making music. So I'm feeling inspired. So I definitely am going to be doing more Eric13 stuff this year. But also Umi and I want to do another song. You know, we're not like starting a new band, but, you know, we talk like, hey, let's do another one, you know? So next time we hang out, it's more just a friend thing. Like, you know, instead of going out and drinking beer, let's go and make a song, which I like doing.
Yeah, well, that sounds very healthy.
Yeah.
How is actually the situation in Philadelphia with everything pandemic-wise at the moment?
Not good. Not good. You know, things in America are pretty bad. You know, it's not going away. It's different now. So if we had spoken in April when there was so much unknown and everybody was on lockdown, that was no fun for sure. But what's happening now is as things begin to open, it's just getting worse and moving to different states. You know, in Philadelphia, it's went down, but it's not gone. But in Florida, it goes up. In Texas, it goes up. And for me, as an artist and as a musician, the hardest part is not traveling. So as an American, I am not allowed to go anywhere. So I can't go to Europe. I can't go to Germany. I can't come to Russia. So there's no shows, no tours. I really have just changed my whole outlook. I mean, I live on the road. I travel 9 months of the year, and I love Europe. I love coming to Russia, as you know, and I just have to, I can't even pretend that I'm going to be able to go anywhere. So it's like, what's in Philadelphia? I'm like finding things to do here, but you can't go out anywhere here either. So it's, you know, so a lot of music. It's time to make music, you know, time to make music.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't waste any time anyway, so it sounds really good. Like, I mean, it's a good boost for inspiration, though.
For sure. I mean, you have time now. For me, also, I mean, because I've been touring nonstop for years. You know, with Combichrist, I've been in Combichrist 6 years, and this is the longest time I have not been on tour in the entire 6 years. So, being home is actually not so bad. To be home for a little bit. I had forgotten what it feels like to wake up and eat breakfast and take a walk in my neighborhood. And so, I mean, I would prefer this had not happened, but I just try to stay positive and stay mentally healthy.
Or what do you generally think about all the kind of live performances via different gadgets, like live streams and stuff like that? Like, do you consider it a good idea? Like,
yeah, I love it. I absolutely love live streaming. For me, live streaming is my life now. This is it. You know, there are no concerts. For me, it's a little different. You know, I use Patreon, and I've been using Patreon. This is my 3rd year. I've actually been regularly live streaming for the past 3 years, and it's already been an important part of my artistic output. So when this began, it was very natural for me. It was very easy for me. I already have an audience of live streaming. My Patreon members already expect it from me on a weekly basis. And it allowed me to reach more people during the pandemic. For me, when it was at the worst in March and April and even May, I was just live streaming to keep sane, you know, to have something to do, but I got a great feedback from people that they needed it as well. And I connected with a lot of people, friends and fans, but and people were moved by it. I was moved by it. I think it was a really important time for music as it changes. And instead of, I don't hate, oh, there's no live concerts. Of course, I would love to be doing it, but that'll just make you sick if you think about all the things you're missing. So I just try to be thankful for what I do have. So for me, live streaming allows me to see friends, interact with people, particularly internationally. So for me, every day I'm speaking to people all over the world. And I love that. I love that about being an artist without live streaming. I love traveling. I love meeting people. I love interacting. And Instagram was like that anyway. You know, I talk to someone from Russia every day. You know, not the same person, but someone from Russia writes a question every day or likes a photo or I like their photo. And now with live streaming, I'm even more interacting every day with people all around the world. And that, you know, it keeps me going. It's one of the most important things right now, to not become depressed or think, God, this sucks. I try to really think about what's good, you know, that thank God this happened in 2020 and not 2005, before there was Instagram. And you know all we would have was MySpace. You know,
that would be a completely different experience, like
totally
a year-long meditation.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, but I've seen like you've been very active, and I really enjoyed actually your artist talk thing. It's actually quite cool. I mean, like that would be great if you would go on with that.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going.
Okay.
You know, it's the same thing in a way. It's the same thing. It began where I just was talking to a couple people just for fun, and I realized how fun it was. You know, it began with my friend Jen in New York, and then I did it with Klaus from Lord of the Lost, and it was just so nice to talk and how many people enjoyed it. And I got a ton of messages saying this was fun, do it again. And then I did it again with Andy, and everybody liked it. And then I realized, you know what, this is kind of cool. I also like it because I'm not selling anything. I'm not trying to make money. It's not about promotion. Like it's without sounding ridiculous, you know, it's more just art, you know, like, hey, I'm doing this just because I like it. That's it.
Yeah.
And other people seem to watch it. And now it's kind of cool. Now some other cool artists are writing me like, hey, I want you to interview me.
Oh,
so that's kind of fun.
And what do you think about Combichrist? Like, do they consider something like performing online, for example, or?
Not really, to be honest. We live all so far apart, you know, by car. Andy and I live about 10 hours away from each other.
Okay.
So it's like I'm in Moscow and he's in Krasnodar.
Yeah.
You know? But he and I we talk on the phone a lot, and we have actually written some songs together. We have a US tour that was actually still booked in October. So it was our April tour was moved to October.
Yeah.
And it just got canceled. There's no way it can happen. So we were talking just in the last couple of days. I said, well, he says, well, why don't you come? Now we have October free. Come down and let's make some music. So I'm probably going to go hang out. He has a studio at his house also. So we're going to go down and make some music. You know, probably not any. We'll do some live streaming, but nothing big. Nothing big.
That sounds quite interesting, I think. I mean, because I was looking at the timetable. There's like it still says the October tour, and I was looking. It's obvious that things are quite unknown so far.
Yeah, it's actually, you know what? I don't even think it's announced that it's canceled yet. So you might just be breaking the news, but I think everybody knows. You know, I'm worried because, like I said, it's difficult. And I actually just said this when, you know, we were just in Russia. When was that? The end of the summer, I guess. I don't, you know, recently.
Yeah.
Combichrist played in Russia. And for me, I remember it was so much work, and I wasn't home. And, you know, as much as I love touring, I do like to come home every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I said to myself, I said, you know, this is a particularly cool tour because we're going to so many new places inside of Russia, and who knows if we'll ever get to go back. And I actually said, well, I want to go now because who knows if a day comes when I can't go. And I actually meant politically, you know, thinking something happens between US and Russia, you know, would have never thought we would be in such a crazy situation as we are. But it's certainly, you know, it's sad. Makes me sad to not be able to go.
I actually had a very similar experience. For some reason, I also thought about how it is amazing that I can travel, and you know, you never know when it will stop. And I had this thought just a few months before it all broke down. You know, it's as if there is like something in the air in some way, that we all kind of predicted it in a weird sense.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad. And I think I'm just so happy that last year I was able to do so much. You know, we toured all over the US, all over Europe, big Russia tour. We went to Australia, and we actually played some shows this year. We actually played in Mexico right before the pandemic hit. So it seems so long ago, but really I played a couple shows and have traveled in 2020, but it seems not real.
I think I'm done with questions. Like, do you? I think we talked for quite a while. Do you have anything you want to add, maybe, or?
The only thing I wanted to show. So I'm in my studio now, and I keep things from all over the world that fans give me. So fans will give me, you know, like crystals. Here's like an amethyst that someone gave me in Austria. Here's a little guy that someone gave me in Australia. And then I, of course, have here next to my computer. Oh, you got to have one of these in your studio. If you visit Russia, this is, but I have something else cool that I got on my last visit to Russia that this is one of my prized possessions. This was given to me as a gift by my friends in St. Petersburg. But how cool is that?
That's amazing.
It's like, you know, Ovechkin, Pavel Datsuk, and of course, Eric13, famous Russian hockey player.
Amazing.
I love this.
You played in that, I remember, right?
Yes, when we were in Moscow, and we went backstage before the encore, and I came out in this, and it was so awesome because the crowd, I came out like this, and the crowd was like, yeah. It was so cool. It was such a great feeling. So this is like my special gift from Russia. So there you have it. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much.
As your guest, Olga.